Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to our channel Adyan Defense Academy. So already we have started a lecture series on mathematical logic. As earlier we have explained the topic based on the mathematical logic. अगर आपको if you wanted to see similar videos, do refer in our playlist. Okay, so in my today's video हम लर्न करने वाले कंप्लीट लेक्चर सीरीज फॉर अवर मैथमेटिकल लॉजिक. ओके, कंप्लीट लेक्चर सीरीज ऑन mathematical logic which only as we consider it as the only recap video. Okay, सिर्फ रिवीजन हम उसको लेने वाले and after that we go for the some of the previous year questions from 12th board exam. Okay, तो board exam से हम थोड़ा previous year question भी लेने वाले यहाँ पे. So let's get start our today's lecture. So welcome to yet another time to you all complete lecture series on mathematical logic. Okay, so myself Swapnil sir and let's continue our today's lecture. Okay, तो आज की इस लेक्चर में विल गो फॉर द डिटेल अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ सम ऑफ द टॉपिक और उसके बाद वी गो फॉर द सम ऑफ द एग्जांपल व्हिच इज फ्रॉम अवर बोर्ड एग्जाम. ओके, तो पहले तो हम उसमें समझ लेंगे व्हाट इट इज मीन बाय द स्टेटमेंट पैटर्न. ओके, द ट्रूथ वैल्यू ऑफ अवर स्टेटमेंट. आफ्टर द ट्रूथ वैल्यू ऑफ स्टेटमेंट हम देखेंगे यहाँ पे द कॉन्वर्स, इनवर्स, कॉन्ट्रापॉजिटिव ऑफ अवर स्टेटमेंट. सो हाउ कैन वी डिफाइन कॉन्वर्स फॉर स्टेटमेंट, inverse for statement and contrapositive for statement. Okay, this topic will go for it subsequently and at the end we will see the truth table or truth values for our statements. Okay, if we have two statement as a true or false, then how we can define their truth value वो हम यहाँ पे देखेंगे. After that we go for the symbolic form or truth table of our symbolic form. First we go for the extraction of our सिंबॉलिक फ्रॉम आवर लॉजिकल सर्किट एंड देन उसके बाद हम उसको क्या करेंगे, टेबल में कन्वर्ट कर देंगे. ठीक है, एंड एट द एंड आई कंसीडर हियर सम ऑफ द एग्जांपल्स फ्रॉम बोर्ड एग्जाम. ओके, सो बोर्ड एग्जाम से हम कुछ एक्स्ट्रा क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने वाले हैं. ओके, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट आवर टुडेज लेक्चर विद द मैथमेटिकल लॉजिक. तो पहले तो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज मीन बाय ट्रूथ स्टेटमेंट ऑफ ट्रूथ वैल्यूज फॉर आवर स्टेटमेंट. ओके, तो ट्रूथ वैल्यूज क्या होने वाले स्टेटमेंट के लिए? ट्रूथ वैल्यू फॉर truth value for statement, truth value for statement. Okay, statement की truth value, how we can define truth value? Truth value means whether the statement is a true or the statement it is false. Okay, एक तो statement true होगा, नहीं तो statement maybe it is a false. So we consider the truth value for statement it is a true or false. Okay, true or false, these are the truth value for our statement. Okay, and after that truth value for our statement we can define converse, inverse, contrapositive of our statement. Okay, so converse how can we define, inverse how can we define and contrapositive we'll see it in detail. Okay, थोड़ा उसको डिटेल में समझ लेंगे and after this we'll see negation of the statement if and some connectors of a statement. Okay, so in our daily life हम use करते हैं connectors को. So the connectors like and, or, not, if and only if then, these are the connectors which we use in our daily life. Okay, तो डेली लाइफ में हम उसको यूज करते हैं बट इन मैथमेटिकल सेम कनेक्टर्स आर यूजफुल फॉर कैलकुलेशन और सॉल्विंग द प्रॉब्लम्स. ओके, बट मैथमेटिक्स हैविंग इट्स ओन लैंग्वेज, सो हम उसको इफ एंड ओनली, इफ देन एंड और ये वर्ड को यूज नहीं करते. सो वी आर यूजिंग सम अनदर वर्ड्स टू डिटरमाइन अवर सेंटेंस पैटर्न. ओके, तो सेंटेंस पैटर्न समझने के लिए हम उसके लिए अलग से वर्ड लेने वाले. ठीक है, सो नाउ कंसीडर दैट इन अवर डेली लाइफ हम कंसीडर करते हैं एंड वर्ड. ओके, सो टू कनेक्ट बिटवीन टू सेंटेंस. ओके, to connect connector between two sentence we use and word. Okay, but in mathematics हम and को नहीं यूज करते. instead of and we are using here conjunction. Okay, हम डेली रेगुलर पार्ट में हम उसको तो and यूज करते हैं डेली टॉकिंग में, बट इन मैथमेटिक्स वी इंस्टेड ऑफ and we use here conjunction. हम यहाँ पे क्या यूज करेंगे, and की जगह conjunction यूज करेंगे. ठीक है, आफ्टर दैट और की जगह क्या यूज करेंगे, disjunction. These are the connector of our statements. Okay, ये क्या है, पूरे कनेक्टर होने वाले स्टेटमेंट के लिए. एंड के लिए कंजंक्शन होगा, और के लिए डिसजंक्शन होगा. इफ देन के लिए अगर हमारे पास स्टेटमेंट पैटर्न है, हम डेली लाइफ में वी आर यूजिंग इफ एंड देन वर्ड. ओके, So in mathematics, we use a if then as a implication or conditional statement. Why it is a conditional? Because if and then some conditions are there in this statement, तो इसलिए हम उसको क्या करेंगे, if then को we use as a conditional statement. After this, if and only if and only if, okay, if and only if को हम यूज क्या करेंगे, by conditional statement, okay, by conditional statement, okay. Okay, these are the connectors we use here in our mathematical logic, okay. So एक connector use करने वाले, and after that one more important connector is there, okay. हम daily life में not को अगर किसी, if you have to define negative meaning statement or negative statement, so we use a not word, okay. But in our mathematics, instead of a not we are taking as the negation. वहां पे क्या लेने वाले, negation लेने वाले, ठीक है. तो नॉट की जगह निगेशन आएगा, इफ देन की जगह कंडीशन, और की जगह डिसजंक्शन, एंड की जगह कंजंक्शन, इफ एंड ओनली if we get the biconditional or double implication, okay. These all are the statement pattern we use for our examples, okay. So these are the connectors for finding the truth values for our statement, okay. So for finding the truth value of our statement, एक तो हम solve करने वाले truth using truth table, after that using dual form, or using some of the standard form like a commutative property, identity property, okay, distributive law. Using this property we can define the statement, okay. उसके बाद हम लेने वाले will go for the logical circuit, okay, to conversion of a logical circuit into the symbolic form, or symbolic form into the logical circuit, and we with at the end we identify whether it is a tautology, contradiction or contingency, okay. तो ये पूरे स्टेटमेंट में से कौन सा स्टेटमेंट पैटर्न होने वाला है, ठीक है. So that's it only for our today's topic, okay. So we'll go for some of the example based on these topics, okay. तो थोड़ा इसके ऊपर एग्जांपल सॉल्व कर देंगे हम. All are the examples from 12th board exam previous year question paper, okay. Yes, I will erase it now here. So हमारे पास एग्जाम्पल है फ्रॉम द बोर्ड एग्जाम, तो डायरेक्टली हम थोड़ा एग्जाम्पल ही सॉल्व कर देंगे, ओके. सो वी हैव स्टेट एग्जाम्पल, write converse, inverse and contrapositive of the following statement pattern, okay. So we have given statement pattern. Question asked in February 2018 board exam for 3 marks, okay. And sorry, not February 2018, March 2018 board exam, okay. So it is a March 2018 board exam, okay. The question asked for 3 marks. Now see that question, it is quite easier. We just need to understand what is mean by converse, inverse, contrapositive of our statement, okay. तो अगर हमारे पास if we have statement P implies Q, then its converse we write as the Q implies P, okay. If this one is a statement, okay, this one is a statement, then it's a converse. It's a converse, it says that Q implies P. Inverse, it says that inverse, हम उसको इनवर्स को कैसे लिखेंगे फिर, इनवर्स ऑफ आवर स्टेटमेंट, इट सेज दैट नेगेशन ऑफ P implies negation of Q, okay. After that we define contrapositive. Now these words are looking quite confusing to understand, but actually these are not, okay. These are the contrapositive, okay. So what we can define contrapositive, we define it as the negation of a Q implies negation of P, okay. These 4 statement pattern are very much important here for our further examples, okay. तो अगले वाले जो example होने वाले, so we are going to use this statement pattern, okay. तो statement है P implies Q, तो converse it will be the Q implies P. If statement is a P implies Q, then inverse negation of a P implies negation of a Q. And if statement is a P implies Q, then it's a contrapositive, it is the negation of a Q implies negation of P, okay. So first of all define our statement here. हमारे पास example we have given statement as our statement given here. If an angle is a right angle, if an angle is a right angle, if an angle is a right angle, then its measure is 90. Then its measure is 90 degree. Okay, so we have statement, if an angle is a right angle, then its measure is a 90 degree. Okay, so statement is in the form of conditional statement, like a P implies Q, used here as a if and a then. Okay, so what we do first, whenever we have to calculate such a statement, हम उसको कन्वर्ट करते हैं इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ लॉजिकल सर्किट, लॉजिकल सिंबल. ओके, वंस वी गेट द लॉजिकल सिंबल, देन रिवर्ट दैट सिंबल इनटू द स्टेटमेंट पैटर्न. ओके, तो हमारे पास क्या है, इफ एन एंगल इज अ राइट एंगल, देन इट्स मेजर इज 90 डिग्री. ओके, तो एंगल राइट एंगल है, सो कंसिडर दीज आर द टू डिफरेंट स्टेटमेंट. सो स्टेटमेंट पी, व्हाट वी हैव हियर, if an angle is a right angle, that means angle is a right angle. Okay, angle is a right angle. Okay, this one is the statement P. Now let's go for the statement Q. Measure of angle is a 90 degree. Okay, measure of angle is 90 degrees. So I have extracted two different statements from our if and then by conditional statement. So now let's go for the finding converse, inverse and contrapositive. Okay, let me change the color here. Yeah. Okay, so if we have statement P implies Q. Now what we have statements, if the angle is an right angle, okay, that means statement P, which implies, then its measure is 90 degree. That it implies P implies Q. Okay, so our statement pattern, it says that our statement gives us P implies Q. Okay, so if you have statement P implies Q, then it's a converse. Write down the converse. Now let's go for the separately converse. So we want the converse of our statement. Okay. Okay, so how can we write the converse of our statement? Now see that converse, it says that go for the reverse direction of our statement. Okay, तो क्या हो जाएगा यहाँ पे, Q implies P will be the converse of our statement. Okay, so Q implies P means if measure of angle is a 90 degree, if measure of angle is a 90 degree, then if measure of angle is a 90 degree, then statement P, it says that angle is a right angle. Then angle is a right angle. Okay. Okay, so we see it here. So हमारे पास क्या है, measure of angle is a 90 degree, then its angle is a right angle. It's a converse. After that, inverse. Let's go for the inverse. So how can we define inverse from our statement? Okay, so inverse, it says that when we have statement P implies Q, inverse, it says that negation of P implies negation of Q, negation of a P implies negation of a Q. Now what is mean by negation of a P? Negation of a P, it represent negative meaning of our statement. That means we have to introduce not word in our statement. Okay, so negation P क्या होगा फिर, if angle is not right angle. Okay, our statement will be, let me change the color so it's good to see. Then yeah, okay, so negation of a P means opposite statement for P. If angle is not right angle, okay, so that means if angle is not a right angle, okay, inverse, it says that if angle is not right angle, then okay, then its implication gives us negation Q. Negation Q means opposite wording of our Q. So measure of angle is a 90 degree, that means its negation is measure of angle, it is not 90 degree. Okay, then measure of angle is not 90 degree. Okay, so that means converse of our if statement is gives us P implies Q, then its inverse gives us negation of P implies negation of Q. Okay, so this one is the inverse for our statement. Now let's move for the contrapositive of our statement. Okay, so let me change another color. Okay, contrapositive. Contrapositive of our statement. Okay, if statement gives us P implies a Q, then contrapositive of our statement is says that go for the negation of a Q implies negation of P. That means negation of a Q means not word into the form in the statement of a Q gives not word in the form of statement P. Okay, so apply the negation of a P, negation of a Q. Then if measure of angle is not 90 degree, okay, the statement is here if measure of angle is not 90 degree, then statement here if measure of angle is not 90 degree, then negation of a P, then angle is not right angle, then angle is not right angle. Okay, then angle is not right angle. So see that how easy questions are coming in your board exam. इसमें क्या find करना था? We have to find out the only for converse, inverse, contrapositive. For finding the converse, you need to know its the statement is a Q implies P. Inverse negation of P implies negation of Q, and contrapositive is a negation of negation of Q implies negation of P, and inverse what it says that negation of P implies negation of Q. Okay, so these are the three statement. First converse here, second inverse it is here, and contrapositive at the end here. Okay, I'm expecting you all have understood the solution. Let's move for the next question. Similarly, we have next example as a right converse, inverse, contrapositive for the following statement. Okay, and statement it says that if it rains, then match will be cancelled. Okay, so question it is for the 3 marks asked in July 2017 board exam. Okay, so what is our statement? If it is raining, okay, so that means if rain comes, then and only then match can be cancelled. So statement it is in the form of conditional statement. Okay, so we have conditional statement here. So try to extract two different statement from our conditional statement. तो क्या हो जाएगा हमारे पास statement P, it says that if it rains, okay, it is raining. So directly write it is raining. Okay, it is raining, and statement Q it says that a match will be cancelled. Okay, match will be cancelled. Okay, match will be cancelled. Okay, so we have two different statements, statement P and statement Q. So form the statement pattern by using our statement P and Q. So our statement in the form of a conditional statement, so if and then it is present. So our statement pattern it says that P implies Q. Okay, so we have P implies Q statement. Okay, so converse of our statement, let's go for the converse, inverse and contrapositive of a statement. Okay, so converse of our statement it says that go for the Q implies P. That means if you have statement P implies Q, then converse of our statement gives us go for its reverse direction. So Q implies P. That means if match will be cancelled, then our statement it says that तो क्या हो जाएगा if match will be cancelled, then if match will be cancelled, then it is raining. Okay, then it is raining. Okay, so this is the statement for our converse statement. Okay, now let's move for the converse. After that, inverse. Okay, so we'll define inverse. So inverse. Okay, so when we have statement pattern P implies the Q, then its inverse, it says that negation of a P implies negation of Q. Okay, so what we do here, we take negation of a P, implication will take as the negation of Q. Okay, तो क्या है हमारे पास कॉन्वर्स स्टेटमेंट P implies Q है, तो इसका इनवर्स हो जाएगा negation of P implies negation of Q. ओके, तो डू इट negation of P here. P का अपोजिट मीनिंग क्या हो जाएगा, इफ इट इज नॉट रेनिंग. ओके, स्टेटमेंट क्या होगा फिर, if it is not raining, if it is not raining, then what we have after part, negation of a Q, मतलब Q का opposite sentence. Okay, then match will not be cancelled, then match will not be cancelled. Okay, match will not be then match will be not be cancelled, or will be not will not be cancelled. Okay, will not be cancelled, will not cancelled. Okay, okay, this is our required inverse of our statement. Okay, so when we have P implies Q statement, then its inverse says that go for negation of a P implies negation of a Q as the inverse of our statement. Okay, so we define here converse, उसके बाद inverse, and at the end let's go for the contrapositive. तो फिर contrapositive क्या हो जाएगा, contrapositive. Okay, so contrapositive, it says that when we have statement P implies Q, then it's a contrapositive, it says that negation of a Q implies कहां पे लेके जाएंगे, negation of P पे. ठीक है, so that means not Q then not P. So not Q means if match will not be cancelled. Okay, then statement how it looks, if match will not be cancelled, then we have then implication conditional negation of P. Negation of P means it is not raining. Okay, it is not raining. Okay, okay, it is not then it is not raining. Now see that हमारे पास we got the converse, inverse and contrapositive for our statement. Question asked for 3 marks in our board exam, July 2017 board exam. Okay, so see that how easy type of the questions are coming in our board exam. Just have to define the converse, inverse and contrapositive for our statement. Okay, so I am expecting that you all have understood. Nothing is difficult here. Okay, even after you found difficult, let me know in my comment section. Okay, let's go for the next example. Next example, it is similar like previous one. हमारे पास क्या है, statement given है and we have to find out the value for converse, inverse and contrapositive. Okay, question पूछा है February 2020 board exam for 3 marks. Okay, so statement it says that if a sequence is bounded then it is a convergent. Okay, so question it is from the February 2020 board exam. Okay, so first of all write down the statement. If sequence is bounded, okay, statement we have here, if sequence is bounded, if sequence is bounded, then if sequence is bounded then it is convergent. Okay, then it is convergent. Okay, so we have statement here, sequence is bounded, then it is convergent, and we want the converse, inverse and contrapositive for our statement. Okay. Okay, so first of all, statement we have here, if sequence is bounded, that means consider the statement P, consider the statement Q, दो statement को define करो यहाँ पे. So if sequence is bounded, okay, that means first statement, sequence is bounded. Okay, sequence is bounded, and its implication, another statement Q, it is a convergent. Okay, then sequence is convergent. Okay, we have sequence statement P, sequence is bounded, statement Q, sequence is a convergent. Okay, two different statements are there. तो अभी क्या कर, what we do here, we define its a converse, inverse and contrapositive. Okay, if statement we have here, what we have, statement P implies Q. Okay, we have statement as a P implies Q, then it's a converse. Okay, converse of our statement, converse of our statement, it says that Q implies P, go for the opposite direction. Okay, so uska opposite direction, what it coming, Q implies P. That means if sequence is a convergent, then sequence is a bounded. Okay, then we write its a converse as, if sequence is convergent, if a sequence is convergent, then sequence is bounded. Okay, sequence convergent है तो क्या हो जाएगा, sequence comes as the bounded. This one is the converse. Next let's go for the inverse. Inverse means, now see that हमारे पास we have converse, if statement is a P implies Q, then its converse goes to Q implies P. Then inverse, for inverse we define, okay, so let me check it again, let me show it again. For the, if you have statement P implies Q, तो हम उसमें inverse में क्या लेंगे, opposite, that means not P then not Q. Okay, that means negation of a P implies negation of Q. Okay, तो इसमें क्या हो जाएगा इसका inverse, let's go for the higher here. If your statement P implies Q, then its inverse as a negation of a P implies negation of Q. Okay, so in our mathematical logic we have to define this wording. Okay, तो उसमें negation of P implies negation of Q, what we will get here, negation of a P means opposite word of our statement P. Okay, that means if sequence is not bounded. Okay, negation of P means if statement P, if we have statement P as a sequence is bounded, then its negation means its a sequence, it is not bounded. Okay, that means if sequence is not bounded, if sequence is not bounded, then if sequence is not bounded, then negation of a Q, negation of a Q means not introduce not word here in Q, then sequence is not convergent. Okay, not, then sequence is not convergent. Okay, so this one is the converse. After inverse, now let's go for the contrapositive. Contrapositive. Okay, so whenever we have statement P implies Q, then it's a contrapositive. It says that negation of a Q implies negation of a P. That means negation of a Q, that means introduce not word here in a statement Q. It gives us, if sequence is not convergent, if sequence is not convergent, then sequence is not bounded. Okay, then write down the statement, if sequence is not convergent, then if sequence is not convergent, then sequence is not bounded. Okay, that means contrapositive of our statement, it says that go for the negation of Q implies negation of P. Okay, so that's it here for our this example. Question asked in February 2020 board exam for 3 marks. Okay, this type of the question usually comes in our board exam. So usko thoda how you have to revise it properly. Okay, now see that in our next example, we don't have statement pattern. Okay, that directly given as a mathematical symbol. तो अगर मैथमेटिकल सिंबल है देन वी डायरेक्टली डिफाइन इट्स negation, implication or the statement pattern only in given format. Okay, so we don't have to change here anything. तो क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे पूछा है मार्च 2023 बोर्ड एग्जाम फॉर 4 मार्क्स. ओके, so our statement here given, if statement x less than y, statement here x less than y, then we have to prove x square less than y square. Okay, x square less than y square, this one is our required statement. Okay, as for March 2023 board exam. Okay, for 4 marks. So let's go for finding statement P and statement Q. Okay, statement P, it says that x strictly less y. Okay, and statement Q, we have here x square lesser than y square. Okay, so we have two different statement. Okay, so let's go for the converse, inverse and contrapositive for our statement. Okay, so if we have statement P implies Q, so what we have statement given, P implies Q. Okay, so converse of our statement, it says that go for the Q implies P. Okay, that means it is easier for finding the Q implies P using this one. So x square strictly less y square, then always convert it in the form of a statement. Okay, if x square strictly less y square, then x strictly less y. Okay, हमारे पास क्या हुआ है, this one is the converse of our statement. Let's go for the converse, after that inverse. Okay, inverse of our statement. And whenever we have statement pattern P implies Q, then it's the inverse. Earlier we have learned here, inverse, it says that negation of P implies negation of Q. Okay, so apply this definition here, negation of P implies negation of Q. Okay, so negation of P implies negation of Q क्या होगा, negation of P, that means strictly less or less than having negation क्या हो जाएगा, greater equal, and greater than having negation lesser equal. Okay, so we don't have to use not word. Okay, already our statement pattern is in the form of mathematical symbol, तो उसको हम convert नहीं करेंगे. Okay, so we have to consider strictly less instead of greater equal, and strictly greater instead of this one we have to consider as a lesser than. Okay, so go for the negation of a P. Negation of P, what we have negation of a P, statement P, it says that x strictly less y, that means when we have lesser than we use a greater equal y. Okay, if x greater equal y, then negation of a Q, negation of a Q क्या हो जाएगा, x square greater equal y square. Okay, so this one is the inverse, and contrapositive last statement here. Contrapositive, what, how can we define contrapositive? We have to define the contrapositive as a negation of a Q implies negation of P. Okay, तो उसका क्या हो जाएगा, statement का opposite with the not word. Okay, so negation of a Q, so what is the negation of a Q, if x square, let me rub this one, if x square, okay, if x square, what we have negation of a Q, okay, x square greater equal y square, then negation of a P, x greater equal y. Okay, this one is a contrapositive. So we have converse, inverse and a contrapositive of our statement. Question asked for 4 marks in our board exam for March 2023 board exam. Okay, so I'm expecting that you all have understood this example. Okay, so similar example we have subsequent here for finding the tautology, contradiction and contingency, and at the end also we have here find out the tautology, contradiction, contingency, and at the end we have to interpret the circuit, okay, by using logical diagram. Okay, so I feel that we have to go for only one example, remaining two example do it by yourself. So similar type of the exam आपको board exam में होते हैं, ठीक है. So I don't think so I do have to explain similar type of the example here. Okay, so last example we have to verify whether the statement pattern, tautology, contradiction and contingency. Okay, so tautology, contradiction and contingency, you all have to understand the meaning for it. Tautology means our whole statement pattern gives all the value for our statement is a t, then it gives us the tautology. Contradiction means there is the value which is come as the falsy value, so it is contradiction, and at the end whenever the combination truth value true or false, then we consider that it as the contingency. Okay, let's define the statement pattern. Okay, so हमारे पास दो statement है, so P and Q. So consider first two statement, P statement having truth value both true, both false, along with the statement true, false, okay, and try to simplify the circuit. Now P implies Q, find out the P implies Q. So always what we do here, we solve bracket always. So P implies Q क्या होगा, P implies Q, that means T implies F, always F. Okay, so T implies F, it remain F, remaining it goes to the true. Okay, now let's go for the P implies Q and Q. Okay, so P implies Q and Q, that means P conditional Q, disjunction Q. Okay, sorry, conjunction Q. So P implies Q and Q, we have to use AND word, and it gives us the value for T, okay, and remaining it goes to the false, and at the end entire bracket implies Q. So P implies Q and Q, okay, implies P. Okay, now we have to use the implication sign between this bracket and this bracket. Okay, implies, it says that T of F, is there T of F? No. T of F? No T of F. Okay, so all values are coming true here. So now see that all statement pattern gives us the value T, and whenever we have all the statement pattern T, we consider it as the tautology. Okay, we consider it as the tautology. So I'm expecting that you all have understood my example, which question asked in March 2016 board exam for 4 marks. Okay, so this one is this much is for our today's lecture. Okay, so we have taken plenty of the previous year questions from our board exam. Okay, even after if you found anything difficult, let me know in my comment section. Okay, I will come up with a similar video. So thank you everyone, thank you for my today's lecture.